Hello everybody, Saigan here. Kind of a Halo 5 review, kind of a Quester's Rest, kind of a discussion. Halo 5 Guardians came out. Played through it today. Co-op 2-player. When is an excellent game not good? It feels weird saying it. Like, there's nothing particularly wrong about Halo 5. I enjoyed playing it. And it's not even like it fell short of expectations. Like, I kept my expectations for the game very basic. My expectations for what I get out of a Halo release dropped dramatically with the Master Chief Collection. And my expectations were met. I feel that it was worth the price of admission. I had fun. It was enjoyable to play, but it still feels like there is something missing. I mean, in previous Halo games, it's not actually the first time that the series has done this to me either. Maybe it's just something about cliffhanger endings, which, spoiler alert, this game has a cliffhanger ending. I don't know what it is about the middle child of trilogies where they have to end on a cliffhanger. But, you know, Halo 5 has a very similar style cliffhanger ending that, like, Halo 2 did. And that was something I was also prepared for, because they'd already set this up as the Forerunner trilogy with 4. I determined months ago, probably going to have a cliffhanger ending. Probably, you know, not much is going to get resolved. They kind of resolved some stuff. I want to talk about the story, but the game has only been out for today. So it's weird to try and discuss the story without, you know, spoiling it for those of you who weren't able to set aside the 4 to 6 hours that it takes to get through the campaign. And it feels short, you know? In fairness, I'm no stranger to the Halo series. I was playing it co-op on normal. We did actually die plenty of times. There were plenty of moments where we died. You know, we had to start the fight over, and there were several moments like that. And we could probably cut 2 hours of our time off the game if we removed those deaths. On normal and co-op, shame on us. We used to do lasso runs, but it was many years ago. I don't know. It's just so weird. And it's not like I set really high expectations for Dragon Quest Heroes, which came out, you know, 2 weeks ago. And I was able to finish that yesterday morning because it was my goal. I have to finish Heroes before Halo 5 comes out so I can play Halo 5. I don't think I really needed to, because this is just, you know, it was a quick single day thing. This doesn't include the multiplayer at all. The AI is dumb. So dumb. The enemy AI is fantastic, as is typical for this kind of game, but your teammate AI is just so stupid. You cannot rely on them to even just distract enemies. They will just stand there. There were so many points where, you know, I'd wipe out a bunch of guys, I'd pick up a gun, I'd turn around, go to help them, and Kelly's just standing there, surrounded by enemies, not shooting, just standing there, getting shot, and then she goes down. It's a problem. 4-player co-op in this game would probably be amazing. It would probably be absolutely amazing. The problem with that is there's no split screen in the damned thing, because they wanted to make sure that everything ran at 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second is great for a first-person shooter. It really is. There is indeed a noticeable difference, especially if you go back with, like, the Master Chief Collection, for instance. Try playing one of the games on the, Anniversary Collection or Anniversary Edition on the 360. Play that. Hey, it's a great looking game. It runs well. Everything's nice and smooth. And then you play it on the Xbox One with the Master Chief Collection in 60 frames per second. There is indeed a very noticeable difference. I am willing to give that difference up for split screen. I have a lot of friends who are Halo fans who just can't afford to purchase an Xbox One right now. And it sucks because in the past, what would happen would be like when Halo 4 came out. Halo 4 came out, friends who didn't have the funds to buy Halo 4, we could still split screen co-op the campaign. It was great. They'd come over for a couple of hours, we'd play, and eventually we'd work our way through the game. And then as the funds became available to them, they would pick up their own copy for the multiplayer aspect of the game. And you can't do that with this. You have to have your own system, copy of the game, and Xbox Live membership in order to play co-op with anybody on that. And that certainly detracts from it. It really, really does. Because I'm betting couch co-op would have made the whole experience better. 4-player couch co-op, which I know hasn't really happened. It hasn't happened. On Reach, you could only co-op 2 people on one system. But still, even then, with 2 people with an Xbox apiece, then you could still have 4 people doing co-op together, and that was still good. And it's not something that they put into this one for whatever reason. It's such a shame because it would have solved the problem with the AI by making it easier to have human partners. Haven't done any of the online, player versus player stuff. To me, that's always been a secondary draw of the Halo series. I prefer playing it co-op through the story. I don't know. Heroes came out. I had such high expectations for Heroes, and Heroes blew away those expectations. And maybe I'm just still riding the high off of finishing that game and, really, really, really enjoying myself for 2 weeks playing this game. And then Halo 5 comes out, and it's done, and it's over, and it feels so weird to be so critical of something when there's not anything wrong with the actual game, just with how I'm allowed to play it. The story was fine. It was a little predictable in the latter half. All the characters were good. The voice acting was good. The cinematics were fine. Some of them ran on a little bit too long. There were some cinematics in the game where it was like, I could be doing this. You guys don't need to be doing this for me. It's a timed platforming segment. Let me do that. That's Mario. I grew up doing this. I don't need a cutscene for it. God damn it. No, fine. And in fact, there were scenes like that in Halo 4 where you actually got to play them, but not in Halo 4. I don't know. I really want to like it. I had the same problem with Halo Reach when Reach came out. We beat the game in very short order because we're like, hey, let's just play it co-op on normal and finish the game, and then we don't have to worry about spoilers or anything. Reach falls. Spoiler alert. I mean, you know how the game ends at the beginning of the game. It's not like there's a lot of spoilers there. It's more of a... it's about the journey, not the destination. That's the way that Reach was. And I remember I was pretty disappointed with Reach when I finished it. I had that same... I felt at the time that I was disappointed, but it's actually the same feeling that I have now. I'm extremely whelmed. Not overwhelmed, not underwhelmed, just whelmed. And then, as time went on, and I spent more time playing Reach, it kind of grew on me. But a lot of that is due to the way that the content was handled in Reach. Because with Reach, you had kind of quests. You had daily quests and you had weekly quests, and they were things that could be, done in multiplayer or done in the solo campaign, or they had a mode called Firefight, which was really cool because it was just, it was co-op against this seemingly never-ending horde of bad guys. And, you know, you gained experience and you ranked up and you gained levels, and none of it actually impacted how the game was played. But it was really rewarding, you know, finally filling up your bar and being like, hey, I'm a corporal. Or, you know, filling up your bar and then having enough points to buy some fancy looking armor for yourself that you wanted to do. And a lot of that customization is still in this, but the new system, the requisition system, there's no like way to get bonus points, because in Reach, you know, you got the points regardless of what you were doing, and then there were the quests that you could do daily, or the weekly one would always be a huge amount of points, and you'd get, you know, a big lump of points for getting those done, and it's not in here. And the last level didn't feel like a last level. The last level of Halo 1 was an adrenaline rush. The last level of Halo 3 was an adrenaline rush. The last level of Halo 3 is the last level of Halo 2. Because Halo 2 didn't get a last level. Maybe that's the issue. This is Halo 2 again. It doesn't have a final level, because the final level will be in Halo 6. Halo 4's like final level was just like, I had goosebumps playing it, between the music and the story and everything that was going on, and Cortana's going rampant, and she's shouting at you, and everything that she's doing is just making it worse, and Chief has to save the galaxy, but it's destroying Cortana, and it was incredible. I don't know what... It's exactly what I expected. Maybe that's leaving me a little bit disappointed, even though the game itself isn't disappointing. It's a good game. It's worth the price of admission. I am so confused right now. Have you ever had that? Where you get a game and it's exactly what you were expecting it was, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm done. Gonna go do something else now. This hasn't really changed my life in any way. Do we have to have games that change our lives to be good? Not everything can be Spec Ops: The Line. Not everything can be Shadow of the Colossus. Not everything can be The Last of Us. Not everything can be Dragon Quest 8. Maybe that's my problem with Halo 5, is that as a Halo game, it does fall short. I understand that the multiplayer is excellent. So it is exactly like Halo 2 all over again. One of the reasons that I harp on Halo 2 is because the single-player campaign was unfinished, much is the case with Halo 5. I know a lot of people think that Halo 2 is one of the best games in the series, but largely the reason for that is because of the fantastic multiplayer. And if you're speaking about the multiplayer, yes, they'd be right. Halo 2 was an amazing game. But I'm not looking at the multiplayer right now. I'm looking at the 6 hours of single player that I got to play before the credits rolled. Well, I say single player, campaign. I don't know. Has this ever happened to you? If it has, leave me a comment. Let's discuss, because I don't know what to do with myself right now. Like, I started playing the game solo after finishing it co-op. It's still good. Like, it's enjoyable to go through the levels again. It has replay value, even on just a campaign level, even without the multiplayer, which I'm sure I will play some at some point, like I usually do. I usually put maybe like 10 to 20 hours into Halo multiplayer. It's enjoyable to me. It's just, like, I don't find it as enjoyable as other competitive types of games, like card games or fighting games. I mean, it's absolutely fun. I see the appeal of first-person shooters played competitively, but I don't know. All right, I'm going to stop whining now. Thanks for watching, everybody.